Is everybody with me so far?
Yes. Yes, we're with you.
Yeah, okay. All right. So now, I'll go back. Yeah, this marker. I'm gonna have to probably use another one. This is too much. This is too crazy. Okay. So oops. Related. So this one's okay. So they're related. All right. So
Question.
yes.
So is it fair to say that you can't have thought without, whether it's good or bad, the outcome, you can't have thought without it expressing it first? You can't have one
No.
without.
You cannot have an expression without a thought. So that is what we call a habit. A habit is an expression that we have. A habit is an expression. An expression or a habit is basically a thought that we've thought so much that we don't even realize we're thinking it anymore. So if I said to you, Marcus, Marcus used to play football. So if I said, and was a quarterback, if I said, Marcus, you can't throw a 10-yard out. You can't do something that you know you can do. Now, if I said that to you, what would you say?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Were you thinking that before I said it?
No.
No. So there are things that we think and believe all the time that we don't even say anything about or realize unless we're pressed on it, unless it comes back into our life. Like I am is always. I am is just a state. So we're always saying I am. We're always believing ourselves to be something. We're always assuming ourselves to be something. But assumptions, like habits, after a while, are things that we don't even realize are there. Almost like a coat in the back of the closet that you bought 3 years ago and wore once and you don't wear it anymore. It's still in there. You just haven't seen it so far in the back. You haven't seen it lately, but it's there. We have thoughts and beliefs about ourselves that we don't realize are there because we've had them so long. A lot of them we learn so early in life. Right? So when we are expressing something, that's why it says, you shall know a tree by what? Nisha, you're on here. You should know a tree by what? What did it say? Anybody know? Besides Nisha, if she doesn't.
Fruit.
By what?
You know what I mean? Fruits. That's just the way that I'm thinking.
So what I would say is pick up.
Oh, yes, you shall know a tree by its fruit. So if we all stood around and put some seeds in the ground, but none of us knew what they were. If we all put some seeds in the ground and watered them. Now, if we didn't know what the seeds are, we could argue all day about what's going to come up. We could argue all day about what's going to come up. But once that comes up, that tree comes up and fruit starts to get on it, the argument is over. Is that true? The argument's up, right? So when we say you shall know a tree by its fruit, a tree, right? A tree, another word for that is consciousness. You will know what a person's thinking by their actions, by their outcomes, by what's happening in their life. You will know what's going on in your consciousness by what's happening in your life. There's a quote in the book where Jesus, right, the expression of the Father, right, said, "No man comes to me unless my Father in me calls him." So unless I am calls, nothing happens. I know it's probably not that good. Unless I am calls, nothing happens. So no man comes to me. Well, what is another word for man in that example? In this example, what is another word for man that could be used? No man comes to me unless my Father in me. So Jesus said, my Father is in me. So he's talking about this. He's saying, I am is in me. So he said, no man comes to me unless my Father in me calls him. So then what is another word for man? What is the man he's talking about? Anybody have a guess? You don't have to be right, but I want us to participate and start trying to think so that we can have a better understanding of what's happening. So even if you're wrong, it's not about right or wrong. It's about learning, right? It said, no man comes to me unless my Father in me calls him. So unless I am calls, this man, whatever this is, does not come. What is this man that he's talking about? I'm not writing the answer for you guys to see. That's a different thing I'm writing. Good try. Anybody know? Okay, I'm going to give you the answer and then I'm going to show you what I mean. Man, it means, huh?
The Spirit?
No, it means circumstance or condition, a thing. No man comes to me. What did he say? No man takes my life from me. I have the power to lay it down and take it up again. That is the power my Father has given me. So when people say, oh, they just killed Jesus and he just was taken and no, he said, no man takes my life from me. No man, no circumstance, no thing, no person, no disease. Nothing happens without this calling it, without the Creator calling it, bring it into existence by believing itself to be. I am. That's who you are. That's what we said this is. So when it says God is saying, I am, this means God. So this is better than God in the sense of this lets you know the point. That's why God said, my name is I am. God is it's a lot of different things, but it's a title like mother or father. It's something we give a title to describe its responsibility or its attributes, something like that. But the name is I am. So it says, I am said, Jesus said the expression of I am, which is the same, no man comes to me. No circumstance comes into our life without our consciousness calling it. What is our consciousness? Meaning what we are aware of being. So if we're aware of being broke, circumstances we're not creating it. That's not the right word, but I will use that for this second and I'm gonna change it. We are creating that experience by what we're feeling ourselves to be. That's why it says, as a man thinketh, so is he. As a mind believes itself to be, so it creates the experience. Things aren't happening just because they're happening. That's why in the pandemic, some people got sick, some people didn't. In a recession, some people go broke, some people get rich. The same thing isn't happening to everyone. What is the difference between everyone? We think it's gender. We think it's age. We think it's education. It's not. There's only one difference, meaning there's only one creator. There's only one God, right? In all, above all, and through all. There's only one difference. It's our mind. It's the thoughts that we hold about ourselves. That is the creator of our life. That is what is dictating and determining what we are experiencing. Now, let me give you an example so you guys have an understanding of man, meaning I want you guys to understand when it's saying man, it's saying circumstance, experience, something outside of you. So Marcus, don't answer because I asked you this the other day. So if I ask anyone else, what is the first thing outside of you? What's the first thing outside of you? And this is great. The silence is great because I want you to think. Most people don't think before they speak. They just say what they're used to saying. But people aren't used to thinking because people are used to being given information that they just spit back out. They're not used to actually having to sit and thought and say, what is it actually? Right? So our attention span is short, but so is our patience mentally because our mind is not in shape. It's not used to being worked. It's just used to being fed. what is the first thing outside of us, outside of you, outside of me? Each individual, what's the first thing outside of you?
I think the first thing that's outside of majority of all of us is your conscience, your senses, because that's the one of the only ways, because some of us may have some disabilities, so may have to use many of them or different ones to make a connection to anything. Your
Okay.
senses.
Can you, okay, can you see your senses?
No.
So then where are they?
Well, we have the different senses that we're taught that we have, and then there's ones that, if depending on your mindset, that we know innately that we may have. So the basic
Okay.
ones that we all know about that we get taught, are hearing, seeing, feeling. Let's see, am I missing one?
No, it's fine. Sight, sound, right? Yeah. But can you see those senses? You're
No,
using them. Can you see them?
no.
So then where are they?
Abstractly, we just know that they're there, but we don't know how they are there. And I think, that's where people tap into things from the standpoint of trying to understand metaphysics and other forms of consciousness to try to tap into that. Or some people will talk about the third eye.
Where are all those things? All the things you just mentioned, where are they?
They're in our mind. They're in our conscious.
Where's your conscious?
Supposedly in our brain, supposedly in our head. Supposedly.
Okay.
If you talk about a material, if you talk about physical and material, but
Okay.
as far as metaphysical, there's nothing to touch. There's nothing tangible,
So you can't see it.
and you can't touch it either.
So then where is it?
It's part of this universe. It's part of our environment. There's things that are in the universe. You can't touch them. You can't if you go into space and or even air, oxygen, you can't touch oxygen. You can't see oxygen. But we're breathing. We know oxygen is, according to what we say, is what we rely on. We inhale, we get oxygen. We exhale, we get carbon dioxide. Or some form of carbon dioxide is released.
So first of all, John, thank you for all of your communication and response, because that's what I want from everyone. This is how we learn. So the first thing outside of you is your body. Can't you see it? Can you see I don't care if you're handicapped, I don't care if you're 5, I don't care if you're 2, black, white, man, or woman. Can you see your body?
As long as you can take care of them,
Yes.
Yes. So if you can see your body, what does that mean? When it says no man comes to me, I am is you. Man is your. They're both outside of you. They're not you. They're your. They are something outside of you, whether it's an experience or, whether it is a circumstance, a person, your arm. If you grabbed your arm, you say, this is my arm. You would say possessive. It would be a possession. It's not you, it's yours. You are not your body. You are not your mind. They are your possessions. They're not you. So that's why when people try to lose weight, they have such a hard time with it, because they're trying to discipline their body with an undisciplined mind.
Mm.
They are beating their body up because their mind is out of shape, instead of strengthening their mind to discipline their body. If you strengthen your mind, you will discipline your body.
Preach.
Your mind is the parent of your body. So everybody's out here sweating, going to the gym, eating organic, and buying up. People will go to, I don't know if you guys have Whole Foods out there, right? Do you?
Yeah, Pennsylvania we do, yes.
Okay, so on the West Coast, I know it's big out here, but so the people go to health food stores, they'll spend $100 buying organic everything and listen to GMO music. They'll go out there and they will buy $100 of this food. Look, I got to have this because I'm on a diet, or I got to have this. But people will diet their body, but won't diet their mind.
Mm.
People will buy $100 worth of organic everything. You go to Whole Foods and you're like, I don't know if this junk food is that bad, because I don't know if the food's gonna kill me or this price. Or when you walk out of Whole Foods, you feel like you got robbed in broad daylight. Like somebody just slapped you around. You're looking for who you can swing back on. You got three lemons and some beet juice, and it's $75.26.
That's right. That's right.
And you're looking like, shoot, you know what? I'm just gonna eat what I want. I mean, because if the food don't kill me, this gonna kill me, right? You feel like what? But so we'll go out and we'll do all these things for our body, trying to discipline it with a child's mind. We're trying to do adult things with a child mind. We're beating our body up into submission, but our mind is the one that's out of control, and we're just blaming our body because it's what we can see.
Mm.
Right? So the first thing outside of you is your body. It's not you, it's yours. So when it says no man comes to me unless my Father in me calls him, no situation or circumstance, no physical thing is happening without your consciousness calling it, meaning what you're aware of being. So if you're aware of being healthy, then the circumstances in your life are going to appear that support that.
Mm.
If you're aware of being sick, you could want to be healthy, but you don't get what you want. You get what you are. I am is are, meaning it is present tense. It is. It doesn't want to be. It's not going to be. It won't, will be. It is now, here. It is what it is. When you say I am healthy, you're pronouncing yourself. You're saying I am is experiencing the condition of health. You're picking an experience. When we say we're creating, I said I would get back to this. When we say we're creating, we're not creating anything. Creation is finished. Even in the book, it says creation is finished. All we're doing now is picking. Why do you think we like to eat out? Or why do you think we go to the grocery store? Or why do you think we order from Instacart or all these other places? Because the creation of what we're ordering is already finished. All we have to do is pick it. We go to the grocery store. If we wanted to go buy some salad dressing, and they said, oh, you want to buy some salad dressing? And then they said, okay, cool, the ranch is over there. But you can't buy it. You have to go in the back and make it. Then you might as well stay home, right? You go to the grocery store because you are picking that which already exists. But at your house, you may not see it. So then you're going to go to the place that already exists. And you go there because you know you don't have to create it. It's already created. All you do is go and pick it. And then you pay for it. And now you have your experience. Well, a desire. So you went to the store because you wanted some salad dressing. Another word for that is desire. You desired something. Want doesn't mean lack. Want just means, hey, it could mean lack, like, man, I sure wish I want $1 million, or I wish I had a better job. Okay, that's expressing lack. Or, man, I sure want something to eat. You may not, one is saying, I don't have and I don't see the ability to get or to have. The other one is saying, I don't have right now in my possession, but I know how I can get it. It's not that it doesn't exist or I can't have it. I just don't have it in my possession right now. So I'm going to go where it is. I'm going to go to get McDonald's, or I'm going to go to Whole Foods, or I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to go get that which I know exists. It's just not in my hand. But that's not an issue because I know I have what it takes to get it. A desire is that. When you have a desire in your life, it's like, it doesn't matter whether for salad dressing or a new job. You have to go, you have to get it. It doesn't mean you don't have it. It means you don't have it in your physical experience, but that does not mean you don't have the ability to get it, to experience it. But you have to go to where it is. Well, physically, you go to the grocery store. And like John was talking about metaphysics or talking about the mind, right? The first principle in what is the name of it? It'll come to me, but the universe is mental. All is mind. So John, when you start talking about the universe and we start talking about metaphysics and all this different stuff, they're all telling you the same thing. The universe is mental. All is mind. We're not talking about positive thought. We're not talking about, there is no such thing as positive thinking. There's only thinking. And depending on what you're thinking, you're going to get an outcome. And that outcome you call positive or negative, good or bad. But the process in which you came to it is not harder to do this or that. It's just the outcome of which one you chose. So when you have a desire, for some salad dressing, you go to the store. When you have a desire to be something, you go to I am. That is your store. That is the creator. That's where everything is already created. It already exists. You have to go there. I am. You have to go there to get it. What did it say? Know you not that Christ is in you, right? The hope of glory. The kingdom of heaven is within. All these things are within you. I am, what did you say, John? It's in you. So you go here. So you buy it, right? When you go to the grocery store, you take it off the shelf. When you take it off the shelf, you're automatically saying, now this is mine. You picked something that already existed. So grocery store of your mind is I am. It's where it's God. It's where everything is possible. It's where everything was created. It's where everything exists in your consciousness. You just become aware of it by desire. Desire says, hey man, this thing is happening. Do you want to experience that? Almost like a movie trailer. You're sitting in the movie watching one thing, you're in life doing something, then you see a movie trailer, you have a desire that comes up. It says, hey, this thing is coming out. Bad Boys 5 is coming out. You're like, oh man, I want to see that. Well, it's showing you something that already exists. And it's letting you know, hey, if you want this, it's available. But you don't know it's available if the movie trailer doesn't come out. But there's no movie trailer to something that doesn't exist. So when you have a desire to be something, it's like a movie trailer. It exists. But it's coming to your mind as a desire in order to be expressed. So it doesn't need your help. It just needs your permission. You don't have to make the movie. You just have to go see it. You have to go into your mind and see it. You attach yourself to it by saying, I am now whatever this desire is. I am now wealthy. I am now healthy. I am now successful. I am now whatever it is. That's not positive thinking. This is the process of what we would call creation at the beginning, or what we call now manifestation, right? But really, it's not even that. It's just picking. It's just choosing what experience you want to have. When you go to the grocery store, and when you go, let me ask you guys this question another way. When you guys pull up to the grocery store to buy something, and you're walking through the parking lot, and you see a family walking out with a bunch of groceries. If you were to say, oh man, they got some groceries, would anyone here say, oh man, they manifested some groceries? Would anybody say that?
No.
Would anyone think that? You wouldn't say that, right? Anyone?
No.
Right? No one would say that, because you understand, you don't see it as miraculous. You don't see it as some kind of thing. You just realize they went through a process of getting something. They had a desire first, then the desire was strong enough where they moved. They're like, man, let me get up and go get that. I want that. I need that. I got to have that for today, for work, or for my kids, or for my hair, or for my stomach. I want to eat. You have a desire, and the desire is strong enough, like that movie trailer. It appeals to you enough to move you to go see it. So then you go to the place, the movie theater or the grocery store, where that desire already exists. No one's asking you to make the salad dressing or the syrup. No one's asking you to make the movie. They're only asking you to participate by showing up and then paying for what it is you want. So when you have a desire, that is the movie trailer. That is the desire. That's the thing you want. Now, how do you go see it? By now saying, I'm assuming myself to be whatever this desire is. Now, how do you pay for it? Right? You pay for it with your assumption. By now believing you are what it is, that is the currency of what people call faith. That is the thing, that is the coin, that is the money. That is what you use to pay for your desire, is by becoming one with it. I now think and feel myself to be this thing. Now, when you first do that, right, when you first grab that salad dressing, it's not yours, but no one could tell you it's not. It's in your hand. You'd be like, if somebody tried to take it from you, you'd be in the grocery store fighting. If somebody tried to take something from your child, you're like, oh yeah, grab the apple juice. And they took it out. Well, they didn't pay for it. Well, how am I supposed to pay for it before I grab it? How are you supposed to be able to go through the process if you can't go through the process? So if someone says, well, they take it from you and say, because you didn't buy it. Well, how do I buy it before I grab it? How do you purchase it before you assume it? How can you be it before you become it? You have to become it by attaching yourself to whatever your desire is here. That is how you become it. And then you will be it. It will show up in your physical world. It already exists. It just is not in your hand. At the grocery store, it already exists. It's just not in your hand. That doesn't stop you. You just go to where it is. Every desire you have already exists. That's why it's a desire. That's why you can see it. Right? It is what people call a vision. It's just something you see in your mind, but you see it as clear as day. You know exactly what it is. But it's not, John, according to what you were saying earlier, it's right. It's not sight. That's why I kept saying, well, where is it? All these physical things we're talking about, where are they? Huh? Yes. Oh, sorry if I transliterate the people. But the whole point is, right, is that it already exists in our mind. This is where life is lived. It's experienced here. Our body is not us, it's ours. It is a resource. It's something that we use to move us through this physical plane, just like our car. No matter how long we're in our car, we're not Tesla. We're not Jeep. We're not Rolls Royce. We're not Mercedes. No matter how long we're in it, we're not it. It is ours that we use to transport ourselves from point A to point B or C or all the way to Z. Our car is the vehicle of our body. Our body is the vehicle of us, of I am. John, Gerardo, everybody on here has a name. That's just like the name of a car. Your body is just, your name is just the name of your body. This is your true name. I am, forever unto all generations. That's why in the same book, Jesus said, didn't it say that ye are gods, sons of the Most High? When we say we are gods, we're not talking about the body we're looking at. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the highest we have. We are the physical reflection of the one being. We're all one, of the one being. That's why it says, hear, O Israel, man that walks as God. Humanity that walks as God, when it knows who it is. The Lord our God is one God in all, above all, through all. This is what it's trying to say to you. There's only one I am. Now, we are what you would call, right, the Elohim. It means, it's a Hebrew word, it means one made up of many. We are all one, but we are made up of many. The word person is a Latin word. It means persona. It means character or mask. So we are one being, but we have fractioned ourselves off into different personalities so that we can believe. It's like a layer. So we can believe we're talking to someone else. But we're only one being. There's only one consciousness. Now it can believe itself. It can power a lot of different personalities. There's only one electricity in your house, but it powers your refrigerator, your computer, your phones, multiple phones, your internet. It powers everything that requires electricity. But it's still only one electricity. But it can express through different things. So all of us on here are one being. But we have, it's almost like when we cook and we have a piece of, like we have a cookie and we cut it up in pieces. So everybody here takes a piece. And no matter what you do with it or where you go, it's still made up of the same thing. Put it under a microscope, put it in a lab, my cookie 2 days later and your cookie a week later, as long as they're enough to take a sample, we'll see it's made up out of the same ingredients. Even though they're in different locations, even though one may be in a bag, even though one may have some ants on it, it's still fundamentally the same thing. Right? So the first thing outside of you is your body. Your body is not you. It is yours. It is the physical expression of your mind. It is your mind's resource. It is your resource. It's something that you use to express yourself. That's what it is. So when people are out here killing themselves over the way they look, it's because they've killed themselves here first. Your body is just an expressive thing. It's not a creative thing. It's expressing that which you're creating. The creator is here. I am. You can't see I am. You can't see God. You can only see what God is operating through. All of us are that, operating through our bodies. And so everything, first thing is our body, right? Then it's the world, the external, the world, society, and all the other stuff, and all the other people in it, brothers, sisters, friends, work, all those things are outside of us. All of those are man. No man comes to me. That's what those are. It's man. It represents everything outside of you. No man comes to me, right? No man takes my life. That's what the sun, the expression of I am, the physical expression of I am. Now, here's what I mean when, let's see, what, there is Black Moses. I'm gonna get you involved in the mix. You here? All right. Let's see. Who else do I want to get? I don't know. Oh, she's driving. Okay. All right. So let's see. Who else? Nisha can't talk. All right. Who here is available to read something? Because I want to get you guys involved. I don't want to keep talking. I want to get you guys involved. Anyone?
I'll do.
All right. So because I don't know where it is off the top of my head, Marcus, go on Google.
Okay.
Can you do that? Go on Google and look up the story of when Jesus took the gold coin out of the fish's mouth.
Okay.
I want to show you guys. I want to show you what I mean by this stuff, because I want you guys to learn how to use it. I want you guys to see how this. You find it?
Yeah, I believe I have it. It's Matthew 17:24. Let me just
Okay.
see if I have this correct. Okay. They have the different versions: New International, New Living, English Standard, to King James. Which one would you like me to do?
The simplest one.
We'll do New International Version. That's the first
Okay.
one. See if
All
that's
right.
what you.
That's
Okay.
cool. Go ahead.
But so that we may not cause offense, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours.
Perfect. All right. Read it one more time. Everybody pay attention. Read it one more time.
Okay. But so that we may not cause offense, go to the lake and throw out your line. Take the first fish you catch, open its mouth, and you will find a 4 drachma coin. Take it and give it to them for my tax and yours.
Okay. Now, who is saying that?
Jesus.
Okay. So that means the expression of I am,
Mm-hmm.
the expression I am is first person, right? Present tense. It's awareness, it's consciousness. Now we say that and it's all good. It sounds nice. But now that's why we're reading this story now. Because I want to show you, A, that it's true, but B, what it means and how to use it. It said, I am, the expression of I am, which is us, all of us. We are I am, but we're in the physical form, we are Jesus. Meaning we are the physical form of I am. That's all Jesus is, the physical form. It is the physical form of I am. We're all I am, so we're all that. So we are the expression of I am. So that in this I am said, okay, basically the backstory is one of the Pharisees or the scribes came to one of the disciples and said, these were like your first haters, basically. But they came and said, hey man, it's tax time. Doesn't Jesus pay taxes like everyone else? So the disciple said, well, I don't know, why are you trying to jam me up? Let me go ask him. So he asked him and he said, hey man, they're talking about it's tax time. What do we do now? He was like, okay, I see what they're doing. So he said, what? He said, go to a place. So he named the place. Then he said, what? Then he told him what to do. He said, fish. Then he told him, okay, and get the first fish. He said, cast your line and take the first fish, right? And open its mouth and pull out the money. And then pay for you and me. I know you guys can't see all this. I'm just writing it anyway, just because. But so think about really what's happening here. It is saying to you that your awareness, your consciousness, the physical expression within you, I am, your awareness and consciousness, it's saying, I already know where everything is. But one of Jesus's famous lines is, I and my Father are one. The expression you, what you would call Veronica or Nisha or Desiree or Lucky or Marcus or whomever, doesn't matter. The expression, that physical expression and your awareness of being are one. You cannot outwork what you believe yourself to be. Overtime's not going to do it. Weights are not going to do it. Diet's not going to do it. Organic's not going to do it. Your education's not going to do it. Your gender's not going to do it. No man takes anything from me. There is no external thing that can take anything away from what you are conceiving yourself to be. The only thing is in your life is what you're conceiving yourself to be. Your consciousness and your awareness is what is giving life to your expression. I am is what makes the body alive. Your awareness and your consciousness is what's giving life to your expression. The first expression that you're aware of is your body. But it's everything outside of you. It's your body, it's your money, it's your house, it's your car, it's your relationships, it's everything you can see. That is yours. You can't see you. You can only see your body, your hand, your eyes. You can't see you. You are looking through your body. Just like you look through the windshield of your car, the windshield doesn't see, your eyes don't see. You see through your eyes. So just like your windshield, just like through your windshield, you see through your windshield. So if there's rain, you have the windshield wipers to wipe it off. You see through your eyes. So if it's raining, you put on your windshield wipers, you put on something to clean it. You do that. The windshield can't do it itself. If you have eye problems, it's because something is blocking your eye, but you are the one that has to clean it. So we'll go to somebody else to do it. We'll get glasses. We'll do this. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I'm trying to get you to understand how far in you go and really what's happening so that you can control your body and control your mind through the use of it, right? So it's telling you this. So Jesus knew before this person came. Jesus already knew these things. It was always this, when you are in your right mind, when you are thinking properly, right? When you're aware of who you are, this is who you are. This is who you are forever only. Everything else is what you're in. You're in your car. You're in your car. You're in your car called John, called Marcus, called Gerardo, called who. That's just your car. That's not you. Right? So this is all you are. When you know who you are, like Jesus did, when he said, I and my Father are one. What did he say? I know my Father whom you call your God. They were calling him God. Jesus was calling him Father. But in the prayer, he said, what did he say? He said, our Father. He didn't say he was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
He was just the only one acting like it. There's a difference. There's a difference. We all, probably a lot of us have brothers and sisters here and, stuff like that. Probably most of us do. And man, hey, I've been out somewhere and I wasn't acting right. And Marcus looked at me like, man, don't you know mom is going to kill you. What is wrong with you? You better fix this, straighten this up. Right? But we're both coming from the same place, but we have individual will. We have the ability to go out and do whatever we want to do. Right? So I don't have to act like Marcus. Marcus doesn't have to act like me. Well, all the people back in that story weren't acting like. The only difference between Jesus and everyone else was that he knew who he was every minute of every moment of every day. So he could do things that other people could do, but they couldn't either do them at all or do them as long or do them as often because their attachment to their identity was almost like a short circuit. It was going on and off and on and off. Some people didn't have an attachment at all. But remember when he was walking on the water and the boat went out and he came the next morning, he was walking on the water and I think it was Peter, I think it was, and they said, man, who is that? And Jesus said, don't be afraid. It's me. And he said, well, if it's you, let me come out in the water. Tell me I can come. He said, all right, come on. He got out the boat. He started stepping. He was walking on the water for a couple steps until what? Till he looked down and then he fell down. But when he kept his eye on the truth, what did Jesus say? I am the way. I am the life. I am the truth. But he wasn't talking about him as a person. He was talking about his consciousness, the same consciousness we all have. Our I amness is the way out, the way in. It is the life. It is what makes us alive. That's who we are. It is the truth. That's why it's what sets us free. Right? So this expression knew who it was. So therefore, it knew what it had. It knew where its stuff was. It knew what it was looking for. It told him the place, go to the lake. It told him to fish and go get some fish. It told him to take the first fish. It told him to take the gold out of the fish's mouth and to pay it for you and for me. So it knew where its resources were all the time. Your awareness knows where your resources are. but you have to connect with it. That's what desires are, is to get you to be aware of opportunity. It's a movie trailer. It's saying, hey, this is your opportunity, but you have to come see it. You have to become one with it. You can't stay over here and try to get that thing. You can't shop in the grocery store from the parking lot. Can't get close. You actually have to go in. Just like when you want to talk, you have to go in. When you want to pay for something, you have to go in your pocket, in your wallet, in your purse. And then you express without, you let what you took in out. So the expression of I am in physical form knew. The only reason it knew is because it knew that itself and its consciousness are one, that its life, the physical life, and its awareness of being are one. So our physical lives are going according to the awareness of our being. So when we think, oh, I'm a woman, it's hard out here, it's sexism, it's racism, it's misogyny, there's, oh, I can't get ahead, you know, all this all other stuff. Okay, but I am doesn't care what you condition it to. It says, what does it say in the book? It says, let's see, Black Moses. Are you there yet? All right, John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Do you have your phone?
Yeah, I
Can
have
you
it
get on
with
the
me right now.
computer? Phone,
I'm
computer,
on,
doesn't matter.
I got my mobile. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm on
fine.
my phone.
All right, I want you to go on Google and I want you to look up, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Just if you just start punching it, it'll pull it up.
Right. You said I kill.
Yep. And I make alive.
Make
I
alive.
wound and I heal.
Okay, Deuteronomy 32,
Yep. Pull it up.
verses 39 through 41.
Pull it up.
All right. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. For I lift up my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies and will reward them that hate me.
Okay. So who is the person talking? Like in those verses, who was talking? Who was saying that?
Answer God, Jesus.
Correct. God. Let's say right there. So God said, I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. So then traditionally we'd be like, what? God, yeah, man, God is, no, who is God? I am. Our consciousness and our awareness is what kills us or makes us alive. It's what wounds us or what heals us. There is no other God. There is no other, what do you say? Even I am he. So even I am he. I am is he. I am is he. I am is the power, is the thing that is killing or making alive. Killing you or making you alive, wounding you or healing you. It's either prospering you or tearing your butt up. But it's not because it's neutral. It's only doing that based on your conditioning, based on your knowledge and awareness. What are you conditioning it to be? Meaning, what are you saying I am is? So when you say I am sick, you are wounding yourself. You just think you're keeping it real. You just think you're saying, oh, but what does it say? Let the weak man say, I am strong. Let the poor man say, I am rich. There are circumstances, things we see, but there's things in the grocery store we see. Those are real too. We don't buy them just because we see them. We only possess that which we want to express, to experience and express.
Hope has her hand up.
Yes. Hope.
Sorry, Hope.
So I remember, I think Marcus told me once that there is strength in our words, and
Say that part again.
that there are strength in our words. So we manifest what we say in our words. So just going back to what you said, like when someone says, I am sick, you're manifesting that within you, even though you are sick. Why don't you say, I, negate it or bring power to your healing instead of staying complacent. And then also God says, I am the Alpha and I am the Omega. I am the beginning and I am the end. So that's also something too that stood out to me as well with what you were saying.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I am, what to say, I'm the Alpha and Omega, I'm the Alpha and Omega, the beginning, the end, the first and the last, the author and finisher of your faith. So consciousness, your consciousness and awareness, guess what? Is the first and the last. So when you got sick and you said, when someone says, I am sick, all they're doing is announcing their awareness of being something because they're physically experiencing it. But you can only physically experience something, right? You only are aware of it after it already happened. So you're announcing the second thing, your awareness of something already being. But if, just like Hope said, I'm the first and the last, if you're announcing the second, what caused the first? Your awareness, your consciousness. A lot of time, what do people talk about? See, we think a lot of times because we don't purposely think something, or we don't remember thinking something. We also don't realize what we hear all the time either. It would say faith comes by hearing. Our expectations come by hearing what we constantly hear. Hitler said, if you want people to believe a lie, make it loud, make it bold, and repeat it constantly. You guys look it up. Germans are the fathers of propaganda. They created the concept. Sigmund Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, he's the father of propaganda. He's the one that went out and said breakfast, got doctors unwittingly to say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. He's the one that started promoting women smoking cigarettes as a form of women empowerment. Virginia Slims. They don't care about the truth. They understand how consciousness works. So Hitler used to have to raise up a nation. He raised up their identity, their consciousness. He raised up their esteem. He made them feel better about it. One nation. He made them feel better about themselves. So he would go around and he would have, Veronica and I talk about this all the time, the same thing like they do in Puerto Rico. He basically had cars with speakers on them and be pumping out Germany, hail Germany. He would do it over and over and over and over. And people would hear it. And after a while, they stood up straight. They realized, like, yeah, we it. We like that now. So his whole nation backed him, not because they loved him or agreed with everything they said, but because so many people are weak and docile because they don't know who they are. They're susceptible to people who do know who they are. So now they're being controlled like remote cars. And they're just so happy to be a part of something and happy to feel better about themselves more than they ever have. They don't realize they're marching to destruction. So then when United Nations came for him and Hitler went down there and killed himself, what happened after that? Germany got taken over by all the nations and then they reformed it. But the point is that, yeah, he knew how to work with the mind. Everything was propaganda. It just meant that there was an angle to what they were saying. But if you don't know how to think, somebody will gladly do it for you. That's what the news is doing. That's what television is doing. I saw somebody in the chat talk about programming. Yeah, it's programming. Why? You don't get to pick it. All you get to pick is from what they offer. But that ain't freedom. If, you know, we all grew up with parents, what if we wanted, when we went in the kitchen and bought and ate something, we could only eat what was available. That ain't freedom. That's why we like to be an adult, because we can buy whatever we want to eat and put it in the kitchen. As children, we only get to pick what's there. That ain't freedom. We're just picking from what we have, right? So the programming is not freedom. You're just picking from what you have. You don't get to pick it. You don't get to choose it. You don't get to make it or create it. So it's not made in your best interest. It's made to entertain you. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. But you have to know it for what it is so that you use it properly and don't let it use you. And so they're programming you. And how are they doing it? Remotely. That's why it's called remote control. People don't realize really what's being said. You're being controlled remotely through programming. So people are playing with your mind and you don't even get to see them. So you think you're watching what you want to watch. You're thinking you're getting out of it what you want to get out of it. You think, no, it doesn't work like that. That's not actually what's happening. So all these shows like The Walking Dead, they're basically talking about there are people who are awake and there are people who are dead. But haven't you noticed on the show, there's a whole lot more dead people than awake? And the only people scared of the dead people are the awake people. The dead people don't even realize how crazy they look because they all look the same. Right? So what we're saying here, to your point, Hope, is that if we are the first and the last, right? If we're talking about I am sick, and we're saying, like John was saying, like I'm the first and the last, the first and the last, right? If we're saying like there is no other God, if we're saying, then there is no other outcome there is no other creator, there is no other manufacturer of experience, there is no other thing or way that we are getting what we're getting. And if we can actually now choose what we're aware of and conscious of, by, to Hope's point, saying that's why people use affirmations, that's why people script, that's why people write in the air, which is just basically scripting, but not on paper. So you may be in a grocery store and somebody may say, you know, something you don't like, or somebody may cut you off on the street, or you may feel nervous on the way to your kid's game. And so you're just literally saying to yourself, you can just be like, man, today is a great day. Or you know what, I'm always happy, healthy, and safe. Or it doesn't matter what you do. The whole point is to get to the same end, which is to choose your thoughts, to choose what you're meditating on, what you're entertaining. That is what is guiding you to your experience. Everything is created, but you're going toward what's already been created based on who you are. That's why he could tell the guy where to go. Go to this place, fish, get the first one, get the gold, pay for you and me. So your consciousness knows where everything is. It doesn't make mistakes. It's not out there saying, well, go over here, and there may be a couple fish, and is it the fifth one or the ninth one? There was some, last time I checked, there was something in there. I hope, man, because if we don't pay, you got any money on you? Your awareness, your consciousness doesn't need your help. It needs your participation. It needs your support in the sense of it wants to know, what do you want me to do? You, the physical, the name now, let's just say, like us as name, we, the I, chooses what I am does. In the sense of, we'd say, okay, this is what I agree with. This is what I don't. But our awareness knows where everything is. But if we don't assume ourselves to know, if we say, I don't know, I am sick, I am poor, if we're saying things that we don't want to experience, that's not positive thinking or negative thinking. I see you, Hope. It's not positive thinking or negative thinking. It's just thinking. And we have to understand that it's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's electricity. You have to know how to use it, or you get lit up. It can light your house up or light you up. You have to know. Right? Okay, Hope.
Sorry, just on
No.
that point, when you start to feel your intuition kind of like, sparking within you, and you start feeling towards one way, but then you have that internal conflict where your mind is battling how you feel.
Mhm.
That's what I personally have a hard time with, because sometimes I'm in positions where I have to make hard decisions for myself, so I don't get misused or abused in the position that I am in. And my mind might be saying, okay, I feel this way, but my body feels another way. As far as being true to who I am, I don't know sometimes whether my body is telling me the truth or my mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's that overthinking process that makes me double think my intuition. So
Okay. Perfect. Great answer. What does it say? God is not the author of confusion in the book. So God is I am. I am is not the author of confusion. So your consciousness, right, is not the author of confusion. It is only doing what you say for it to do. It's electricity is not, no one's confused. Once you know the law, you just apply it. You know what to put in it and what not to put in it. So when you said, well, you said something to the effect of, I don't want to be misused, or I don't want to be this or that. But you said, I don't. But in the rest of the sentence, you said, the rest of the sentence is want to be. So my point is that if you said, which one is a better statement? I'm never sick, or I'm always healthy.
I would say the better statement would be that I am always healthy.
Yes, not I'm never sick. Sick is still in the sentence. So we're not hiding from words or running from words. Words, like Marcus said earlier, are only descriptors, but they do describe. They do describe what you think. So we're not trying to use, that's why people use affirmations, but that's why a lot of times people don't get any benefit from them, because they're saying something, but that's not really what they're thinking. That's not really what they're feeling to be true. So we have to watch words to make sure that we're not using words we don't mean, or that we're using words we do mean, even though we don't mean it. Meaning, even though we would like something different, but the words we're using are really saying what we're really feeling to be true. So when you say, I don't want to be mistreated or abused or this or that, that's a consciousness. You're saying that something is possible for you. But what did the expression of I am say? No man takes my life from me.
Mm-hmm.
And what does it say? Let that mind that's in Christ be also in you. So if that mind said, no man takes my life from me, I have the power to lay it down and take it up again, right? If it said, if that's what it's saying, I and my Father are one. If it's aware that whatever I am saying, believe in myself to be, consciousness, my awareness is going to govern all of my ability. So when you're talking about which one, what we're saying is, we think free will is physical. It's not. The only free will we have is the ability to think, because our actions are governed, our will, our physical freedom, our physical actions are governed by our thought. Almost like a playpen, and you put a little kid in there and they're running around. But the reason we put them in there is because we know they can't get out. Right? So we can go, shoot, if we had to, we could take a shower, we could cook, we can do a lot of things, because we know that even though it can only move within a certain boundary. Our mind is like a boundary in the sense of it's a state. Whatever state of mind we're in, that is where all of our experiences are coming from. Right? So when you are in a state of saying, well, I don't want to be, you're not saying you are. God didn't say, well, I don't want darkness. God just said, let there be light. What do you want? By assuming yourself to be what you want, you can have it. By assuming yourself to be what you don't want, you're going to not get what you don't want, but you're not going to get what you do want. You haven't said anything about what you wanted. You just said what you didn't want. But you're the creator. So when we say we're the creator of our lives, we're the creator. How? Through awareness and consciousness, what we are thinking and feeling to be true. That is creation. That is how things are created. So now whatever desire you have it because it already exists. So if you have a desire to be respected, how do you do that? By saying, you know what? I am respected. When you go to a restaurant, do you look on the menu and say what you don't want? Do you go down there, the waitress comes over or the waiter comes over, hey, Hope, how you doing today? Great to see you. What can I get you? Well, let me tell you, I don't want fish. I don't want the hot dogs. I don't want no lemonade. Milk, I'm lactose intolerant. I don't really like that. I don't know, the milkshakes ain't gonna work, and they're gonna be like, well, why did you come here? What do you want? Right? So the whole thing is that as the creator, everything is yours. You can pick anything you want, but you pick that by becoming one with it, saying, okay, now, just like you go into a restaurant, you order. So when we wake up in the morning, how many of us order our day? Like when you go to a restaurant, you sit down and you look at the menu, or you already know what you're going to order, and then you order it. So now you sit there with expectation to get this thing back. How many people wake up in the morning and order their day? How many people say, you know what? This is what I'm going to order today. I'm going to order good health. I'm going to order a successful meeting at work today. I'm going to order no traffic, a smooth ride to work. I'm going to order a great day with my son or my daughter or my significant other, or just at my business. I'm going to order my day. Everything is based on I am, your awareness and consciousness. You are the creator. You are, and your body is expressing that which you're ordering. You're eating what you ordered. You're living what you're thinking and feeling to be true. There is no positive or negative thought. They're just thought. And when you combine that with feeling, the man with the woman, that's what it means metaphysically in the book. Man and woman coming together as one flesh is not talking about marriage. It's talking about the coming together to create something, to have an experience. Man is represented as thought. Woman is represented as feeling. You need both of them to have an expression, a child. So when we wake up in the morning, do we order our day? Do we think about, as the creator, not as Hope, the body, not as Gerardo, the body, not as Desiree, the body, or Nisha, the body, not as all of us, the body, not the body, the thing inside the body, that is us. The body is ours. Us, the creator. Humanity, Desiree, Lucky, Marcus, Hope, the physical body makes affirmations. God makes declarations. Let there be. This is what it is. Let there be light. Who was around to say, you know what? That's racist. That's sexist. Misogyny. You know what? Black Lives Matter. Let there be light. Why? How come it's got to be light? Why can't it be black? How come it's got to be like, who was around to tell, when God created the earth, who was around to tell it no? There can't be light. Well, I got a discount. You want a little bit off? There was no one to say no to whatever God created. There is no one to say no to you in your world. If you keep it with you, meaning you may wake up, Desiree, one day, you may wake up and say, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make $5 million a year. If you go out and tell everybody, they're going to kill your child, your dream. They're going to tell you you're a woman. They're going to tell you you're black. They're going to tell you 1,000 different things. What school would you go to? Well, how are you going to do that? Well, they're going to tell you 1,000 reasons why it can't happen. But who did God ask when it said, let there be light? Who did God ask?
No one.
No one. You know why? Because it didn't need your help. That's what the story of the Virgin Mary metaphysically is about. The name Mary, there's a bunch of different Marys in the Bible, but the name Mary means ocean, means sea. It means infinite. It's talking about you're always going to have desires that keep coming. That's what moves you forward in life, is your next desire.
Mm-hmm.
And so the story is she had a thought. She was impregnated. It means a seed, a thought in her mind that she did not need a man to express. It means you don't need an outside thing to express your desire. The seed has its own way of self-expression. It just needs you. It needs the environment in which to grow and express itself. That is your awareness and consciousness of being whatever the expression is. I now make $5 million a year. Keep it to yourself. I mean, if you want to tell your spouse, that's cool. But I'm saying generally, most people can't handle it. And a lot of times people love you and mean well, but they'll put some Monsanto on your thing. They'll put some Roundup on your seed, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna keep the bugs off. Yeah, but you killed the seed.
Mm.
You killed the seed. You can't do both, right? So what I'm saying to you is, right, is you can have anything because you're the same creator. That's why your name is I am. God never said his name was God. That's what we call it. That's the name that we give the attributes of it.
So in the chat, Desiree say, if you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person, Steve Harvey.
Yeah, but the problem is the population is small-minded because they're all controlled by TV, music, radio, friends. Nobody studies anything. They just take what they're told and go on and use it. How many people study anything? How many people know what they know because they spent time with it? They don't. They just literally, they go to church. Yeah. Everybody out there sweating, everything like that. And then go home. And then by Tuesday, they didn't called you a B word. They didn't curse their kids out. They didn't been late to work 3 times. Well, they don't pay me enough anyway. They didn't because they're only hearing something. They're not internalizing. It's not a part of their life. It's not, they don't own the information because they don't sit down and study it. What did he say when he meant, or when she said that? When whomever you're listening to, people just literally, they take it because it sounds good, or they'll take it because they like it from from the person saying it. But it doesn't matter who the person is. The truth is the truth. The person can't set you free. Only the truth can do that. You didn't know the person your whole life. We're not going to know our parents our whole life. All things being equal, will be dead before us. Our kids, all things being equal, will be dead before them. So the only person that goes with you your whole life is you. Yet that's the person you know the least. That's the person you talk to the least, spend the least amount of time with. Right? That's why, to your point, Hope, right, is why we have double-mindedness. Because we're saying we want to be something, but our physical mind isn't conditioned enough to accept that as its identity, because that's what a desire is. It means it's the reason we desire it is because we don't have it. We're not expressing it right now. But that doesn't mean we can't. It just means we now have to become one with it. So whatever it is you want for yourself, Hope, is what you now assume yourself to be, whether it's being something, doing something, or having something. Because your consciousness, just like that gold in the fish's mouth, knows how to express itself. It knows where everything is, but it only knows according to its awareness. What are you conditioning it to be? That's why, oh yeah, I know about 2 minutes for the thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to open up for Q&A again in about 2 minutes, but I was finishing this off because I want all of us to understand. Hope just was the resource we're using to get an understanding of something. So Hope, thank you, and thank you everybody. Ask questions. This is not about me. I'm not here to get you to follow me. I'm not here to. That's not what I do. I don't care what you want. I just want you to have it. So I build people. I build people so that they can be or do or have whatever they want. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what you want to do or what you want to be. What I do is help people become the person they want to be so that they can have what that person. We have to be what we want in order to have what we want. We have to be the person who has it. We're trying to have something that we aren't. It's like giving a 2-year-old a knife. Who they are and their knowledge of something don't work. They don't go together. Right?
John said
Yes.
in the chat,
Yeah.
influence of social media and infiltration of artificial intelligence. Every contact is not human contact that we experience daily programming.
Yes. And the whole thing is that if we are, the whole part of being an adult is to be self-preserving, self-conscious, self-aware. As we go from a child to an adult, our awareness, our maturity, our mental maturity has to go with it. So we have to pick and choose, just like there's GMO, artificial intelligence. It's like artificial food is GMO. We have to decide whether we want organic or GMO. Do you want to participate with that or not? Let the world be what it is. The world ain't going to change because of you, because of me, or whatever else, but we don't need it to change in order for us to live the life we want to live. The only thing to change is self. When we change our consciousness by assuming we are where we want to be, we are now, to Hope's point, we are now going to start acting like the person who is that. The person who, the thing you want, there's a person who has it and they act a certain way. They think a certain way. That's why they have it. That's why we won't give a baby a knife, because they can't think a certain way. So therefore, they're not going to act a certain way. And if we give them something that dangerous, we know with their level of acuity and consciousness, it's probably not going to work out. So then we won't give them that knife until they've matured to the point where they can handle it. Right? So we want to make sure that we become the person who has whatever desire we want. We don't have to diminish or dumb down our desire. We have to raise our awareness in order to become the person who is one with that desire. When we go on a date with somebody, we don't dress as bad as we can. We get the finest thing we got out. Might be the first shower a dude took all week, but he gonna take it that night. He gonna take it that day, because he gonna make sure he's something today that he may not ever be. Right. But boy, it's it. It's it. He may be late on rent. He may be late on his car note, but he's going out tonight.
Right.
And he's going out with you, and with his best clothes on, his best cologne on, his cleanest drawers on. You may never see any of them, but he got them on because he's trying to be the thing that's going to attract you, so that you want to stay. It's the same thing, right? We have to become the person who has it, and when we're the person who has it, we act completely different than the person who doesn't. Right? So that is what awareness and consciousness is. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one, well, where is everything that God doesn't know where it is? What is something that God doesn't know how to deal with? So when you become that, by meaning I am aware, I am conscious now. I'm conscious of being the person who has this. I'm conscious of being wealthy. I'm conscious of being healthy. I'm conscious of being safe and secure. I'm conscious of all the world meeting me well and treating me kindly. I'm conscious of everything always working for my highest and best good. That's ordering your day. Those are affirmations. You're conditioning your mind. You're strengthening and conditioning your mind to perform at a certain level. Right? So that is your self-talk, what you're saying to yourself every day. That is your God. That is your consciousness. That's your awareness. That is you are professing yourself to be. I am this. I am that. I am not this. I am not that. But if we know who we are, we realize, to Hope's point, yeah, you shall declare and decree a thing, and it shall come to pass. When you think and feel yourself to be, it will come. What does it say? My word does not come back to me void, but accomplishes all my good pleasure and prospers unto the place whereunto I sent it. The word, the awareness of being, does not come back without expressing that which you're aware of being. So you don't have to not like something. You don't have to be upset at something. Go to where your salvation is. What do you want to be? What do you want to have? Right?
Question.
Okay. It's only 10 minutes left. On the interest of time, I don't want to keep everybody. So I want to open it up for any more questions, and I'll kind of stop this. But I want to open up for any questions that you guys, because like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, because I want to make sure you guys leave best we can each day with something that you can sit down and think about. Think about what not what I'm saying, but the information you heard, and sit down and think about it and digest it, chew on it, reflect. Right? All right. Any questions?
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so my question is, for example, if somebody is looking for a new job, or if somebody wants a new car, or they want to have a relationship with their kids, or whatever it may be, it really doesn't matter what it is, it's that they have to assume themselves to be that. Now, where the question comes, or maybe where sometimes the hesitation that still I kind of get caught up on, is that, sometimes we think so far ahead. We're like, oh, but I need, or you think you need other people to help you get that done. And what I mean by that is, if I need a new job, or I want a new job, right, someone has to approve it. You got to go through the, so sometimes that can kind of, you're like, oh man, how, so I'm just trying to hopefully give you give everybody on this panel the opportunity to hear you say how to work through that.
Excellent. Hope, are you on here? Are you still here?
I am.
Do you have your phone with you? I want you to get on Google.
I do.
I want you to look up, it's not me that does the work, it's my Father in me. And then when you get it, you can read it. Hope we can't hear you if you are talking. Marcus, I'm having to read this so that to answer your question.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry, I'm trying to find it on Google.
Okay.
I can't.
It's okay. Let me see.
I look forward to it.
It's not me that does the works.
Is it John 14?
Probably.
It says, "Don't you believe that I am the Father and the Father is in me? The words I say to you are not my own, but the Father who lives in me does his work through me."
There you go. So Hope, read it again, slow down a little bit, read it again. I want all of you to listen, and I want you to read. Like, I want you to think about what you're reading and what you're saying. You guys, I want you to listen to what she's saying, right? Okay, do it again, Hope.
Do you not believe that I am in the Father and the Father in me? The words that I speak to you, I do not speak on my own authority, but the Father who dwells in me does does. That's the
So
New King James Version.
there you go. So what does it say? That I and my Father are together. So the person speaking is Jesus. Jesus is Hope. Jesus is Lucky, Marcus, John, Joe, Gerardo, Hope, Desiree. It's everybody. Nisha, it's everybody. It's the expression of awareness. All of us are expression of awareness. So the expression of awareness and the expression and awareness are one. We are always expressing that which we are aware of. And what did it say? We are one. So I am in it and it is in me. And what does it say? The words I speak are not my own. So Hope, when you're talking about, well, what should I say or what should I think? You are always saying or thinking what you are aware of being. So you have to change what you're aware of being if you want to change what you're saying or thinking, the state you're operating from. Because it's not you, the last part, it's not you that do the works, it's my Father in me. Your consciousness in you is the one doing the works. So you don't have to do anything. You have to become aware of being the person who does by saying, I am this. Things do not come, things do. So when you're talking about outside people, like Marcus is talking about, it's not, you don't have to get outside people to do anything, because your desire that comes within you, right, is also granted within you. It is, things come from you. They may come through other people, but they come from you. They come as a result. Your consciousness, God, your awareness knows where all of its resources are and what's the best one to use to express itself. So when you become aware of the person who has a job, the person who has a job that pays them more than they've ever been paid, aware of the person who has a job that they love, that they wake up every morning doing what I love to do. When you order, the food you got came through somebody else. The waitress brought it, but they only brought what you ordered. And guess what? If they brought you something, okay, if they brought you something else, what would you do?
Give it back.
Send it back. You wouldn't accept that. So then if you wouldn't accept food that goes in and out of your body in a day or 2 or 3, why would you accept a mind, why would you accept a thought that isn't good and let it just chill and let it just kick it there, let it just hang out? Why would we accept ourselves to be something by proclaiming ourselves to be something we don't want to experience the outcome of? So when a lot of it is we think that we need other people to express something, but what we don't understand is things do not come. Life is being lived, right, through you. It's not happening to you. It's happening through you. How was that? What did he say? My Father, it's my Father that does the work. Jesus didn't heal anybody. Jesus was the physical thing, the physical body that was used to touch another physical body. But Jesus knew that I and my Father are one. So my Father is consciousness. So Jesus was aware. What did he say? Know you not that I'm about my Father's business? Who you call God, I call my Father, and I and my Father are one. So me and consciousness are one. So what God is conscious of being, I am conscious of being. And so God can heal anything because God created everything. So the healing came through Jesus, not from it. He got hungry. He was asleep in the boat. He's ate and slept just like you, just like me. He was no different physically, but he looked so different physically because he thought different. He knew where that fish was. He didn't go out asking the disciple, hey man, what you got on it? You got some money on the taxes? Well, I was feeding you too. I took care of you. What happened? You guys got some money? There's 12 of y'all. None of y'all got no money. Right? He wasn't talking to the disciples. Why? Because he was the leader. But he was the leader. There was 12 of them and one of him. How was he the leader? He was the leader not because he had more bodies or more hands, but because I had a higher level of thinking. A higher level of thinking. We have to raise our level of thought. That is where salvation is. It's not in having extra jobs, working overtime, and doing all the things we think it takes to get what we want. We're doing what we think it takes to get what we want, not necessarily what it takes. Do what it takes, which means choose and change your mind. What does it say? Be you transformed. Change something by renewing your mind. It didn't say lifting weights, getting extra jobs, working overtime. What are you doing all those things for? Well, I want to have more money. Okay, well, assume yourself to have more money. You know what? I now have all the money I need and more. If you hold that thought, it will lead you to the actions that reflect it. It doesn't mean you don't do anything. It means your actions are inspired by your consciousness. They always are, but what we're learning to do here is choose what our consciousness is so that we can automatically, like Joe Dispenza says, predict your future by already conditioning your mind into the assumption that it's so. So I know I only have a couple minutes. I want to give you this because Black Moses just asked me this yesterday, and I want to make sure I address it. I want to give you guys information. This is not about me. I'm not trying to be nobody's teacher. I'm not trying to get nobody to follow me. As far as this is not about me. What I do, people don't even know I do what I do. I don't have a website. I ain't out here selling t-shirts. This is not about that. I get paid and well for what I do, but I'm not out here trying to convert you into anything, make you be anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I am trying to do is build you up your level of thought so that you can be whatever it is you want to be. So I'm always giving you information. Don't follow me. I'm not asking you to. Don't follow the information, right? And sit down and put the information under light and make sure it stands up. So there's a couple people that I want you guys that I think will also help you, that I've learned a lot from myself. One is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Bruce Lipton. I guess we'll try to put them in the chat too. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Dr. Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard. I've learned from a lot of people, but these are people that will also that you can lift. They have YouTube. They have stuff that they have on YouTube.